What's good, everyone? Everybody needs a job. Oh, my bad, forgot to censor that. Can't swear in the first 30 seconds. Everybody needs a job, especially Gen Z right now. But the problem is that the economy's cooked, the job market's cooked, and even if you get an interview from Baskin-Robbins 6-7 weeks later after you applied, then you actually have to be employed. Then you're basically wasting your life for someone else's profit, and you can't keep up to date with TikTok brain rot. I mean, what? Who said that? That's just the experience in America. Compared to the rest of the world, many of us are actually insanely privileged. Like, yeah, Friday night at McDonald's might be one of the worst experiences of my life, but could you imagine having to put a 16-hour shift in a Bangladeshi t-shirt factory for basically pennies, or spending your life manufacturing Labubus just for rich Americans to hop online and start complaining about quality control as if you didn't make that one over your unpaid lunch break? Wow. Someone should make a video about that, wink wink. But despite all the suffering of labor around the world, if you were to check LinkedIn, you would think the world is sunshine and rainbows. Well, I mean, it might be for white-collar HR middle managers, because their ideal world is a nightmare scenario for the rest of us, but you know what I mean. But that's what we're going to discuss today. The absolute lunatics over at LinkedIn and in the corporate world. I do not believe in a work-life balance. And how wildly tone-deaf these people could be online when Gen Z is struggling to get a job and when the rest of the world is suffering. Tax the broke more, not the rich. And also, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about the ludicrous ego of LinkedIn influencers. Like, I've always found corporate speak and etiquette to be so unbearably bizarre, which, you know, this video might affect my job prospects if I end up making fun of recruiters, but a job, who even needs one of those? I got this channel to fall back on. Oh, wait a sec, that's an age restriction. This is not as simple as I thought. Every 67 seconds, tragedy strikes. A YouTuber is forced to get a real job. Oh my god! However, with just 2 button presses, you can prevent this. 1 like equals 1 more unemployed YouTuber. Let's pump those numbers up, baby. Anyways, like I was saying before the like beggar interrupted, LinkedIn is one of the most tone-deaf places on earth. It's basically social media, but for job connections and corporate recruiting. Like, imagine if Indeed made Facebook. And honestly, it's basically the anti-Twitter. So Twitter is a bunch of chronically unemployed people talking about stuff disconnected from the real world, and LinkedIn is a bunch of chronically employed people talking about a bunch of stuff disconnected from the real world. And when I say chronically employed, I'm not joking, I mean it. I just got engaged. Here's what it taught me about B2B sales. And you know, this actually would be quite funny if it wasn't being posted by the people who control your job prospects in future. And let's look at some of this stuff. Like, this is what the people higher up than you are posting. I can suggest an equation that has the potential to impact the future. E equals mc squared plus AI. This equation combines Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, which relates energy to mass and the speed of light with the addition of AI. By including AI in the equation, it symbolizes the increasing role of artificial intelligence in shaping and transforming our future. This equation highlights the potential for AI to unlock new forms of energy, enhance scientific discoveries, and revolutionize various fields such as healthcare, transportation, and yes, the field of technology, okay? And then he got a reply, and it was a dude who literally has a physics degree from MIT, and all it said was, what? Like, this is the encapsulation of LinkedIn right here. This is the corporate world right here. Like, how egotistical do you have to be to, for one, type something like that and think it sounds good? And for 2, like, do you think you're smart enough to modify one of Einstein's theories? Who are you, dude? You're a consultant. But what do you even do? I bet Einstein should have consulted you before publishing that, though, duh. What do you think an equation is? I feel like I can't even make fun of the source text because it's like, it's just such gibberish, I don't even know how to respond. Like, what do I even say about this? And then to top it all off, he's another one of those weird AI worshippers that are really common in the corporate world. While a lot of people are actively repulsed by generative AI, or at the very least see it as a useful tool, but has been corrupted by profit, LinkedIn influencers see this and they're just like, yup, I welcome my new AI overlords. This is actually awesome. Wait, what do you mean my startup decided to automate my consultant position? No, it was only supposed to take the jobs of the lower level employees. I don't know, man. I just can't really stand the blind AI worship from tech bros. Like, I don't even understand how people are ever, like, entertained by it or, like, keep up with the latest tech. It's just so boring to me. Like this guy who's giving us ChatGPT prompts to help apply for jobs. Sorry, dude, but it's so obvious when you use ChatGPT in writing. It's like, I know literally every student and worker does it nowadays for emails and assignments, but it's like, when you're using it in, like, a personal text or, like, something that's meant to be, like, a conversation, it's really obvious and it comes off as super embarrassing. Like, the way ChatGPT types is so emblematic of just this, like, copy-paste, soulless suck-up. It's so annoying to me. Wait, that's basically what, like, dude, LinkedIn influencers are just a human version of ChatGPT. Even down to the overconfident but fake expertise. Like this woman who works in HR but claims to be a psychologist without a degree. Well, like, this is the most HR thing I've ever seen. Like, you sound like one of those edgy Roblox kids talking about how they know psychology tricks to manipulate you. Yes, I managed to bring up Roblox in a video about jobs. Anyways, while many of these LinkedIn lunatics have this weird emotionless demeanor because, like, you know, God forbid you be a person at work, other people are incredibly angry at the state of things. So they take to LinkedIn to rant. In the past 4 weeks, 8 out of 10 applicants answer the phone hello. It has driven me crazy as a hashtag career coach. Y'all, hello doesn't set a professional tone. In fact, it influences doubt of your professionalism from the get-go. Answering the phone with, hi, this is Fist last name. Wow, that's professional too, misspelling words. It's a small change that makes a huge difference. Well, like what? Dude, how do you get mad at the word hello? That's like beyond parody. Like if I was trying to make a satire account of one of these people, I would say something like that. Which, you know, I might do that for a video. Stay tuned. But honestly, I feel like this sort of behavior is like perfectly expected for like recruiters and career coaches though. It's like they just demand utmost respect, but have zero respect for you. It's like, yeah, maybe I don't want to answer the phone with my full government every time I get a call. I get hella scam calls, they don't need to know my name either. But no, again, to get a job these days without nepotism, you need to bend over backwards and walk on all fours for these people who wouldn't do the same for you. And who are also probably replying a month after your application. And then like, you do all that just for them to be immediately biased against you because you said hi. Like what? Should I shine your shoes too, your highness? Do they sparkle to your liking? Unbelievable, man. I can't believe these people are real. And like, it's even worse because in my experience, even just getting an interview is rough. It took me so damn long to actually get an interview after applying to basically every listing in my area. But like, if you actually have to go work and support your family, this has to just be utterly torturous. You go through all these hoops, these stupid recruiting questions, these employers making you take like covert autism tests or whatever. You go through all of this just for your recruiter to be like, you know, they said hello though. Like how do you want me to answer? I don't know, man. This really reminds me of that one tweet of someone joining a group chat. They said hello, and then they immediately get flamed by everyone and get called Adele. Like, what did they do? But again, while this is often the recruiting experience for my generation, or at least someone living in a very heavily populated area like I do, I don't know if this is the same in like rural America. LinkedIn influencers tend to be boomers and Gen Xers who are already in the corporate world and have a foot in the door. But instead of realizing that it was basically just their like generational luck that got them there, they instead assign it to their own hard work and then blame Gen Z and further generations for not working hard enough, for not having like the same opportunities. Like, wow, you were born in one of the wealthiest generations in the wealthiest country on earth on top of the global capitalist food chain. No, that was all your hard work though. And when things get worse for future generations, obviously it's the lack of hard work keeping them down. Duh. There is a lot of hard work going on there. I'm not trying to like invalidate that. You know, I'm not going to hate on anyone for getting their bag. My point is that like, you still have to be honest about the circumstances that led up to that and not like adopt like a super insensitive ideology as a result of it. The things these people believe are the most self-indulgent ideologies imaginable. CEOs are some of the lowest paid people on earth when income is calculated as a percentage of value created. Jamie Dimon, for example, cost Chase $46 million in 23 and added $98 billion in value, or a 0.046% ratio. Yeah, my fault, because all of that value was added by him personally. All of it. And I like how he tagged in too, like, hey man, notice me. It's giving BTS Twitter. I'm sure his decisions made some profit, but are those decisions good for anyone else or just their shareholders? But my point with this is just, I want to show the ridiculous levels of self-absorption these people have and like the genuinely like fantastical ideologies that go through their heads. And it's so funny because like these people completely drink their own Kool-Aid too. I think the funniest time this happens is when people like, they'll post about a real situation that happened to them, but they'll completely misinterpret what happened just to make it sound like a motivational story. Out with friends, everyone orders alcohol, I order water. They laugh. We're partying. How dare you order water? How do you even enjoy yourself? I'm high on life. Yeah, I said that out loud at a bar. It's giving AO3. Room goes silent. Then something shifted. Here's what I learned. When you stand... Wait, go back. What shifted? He just ends the story here and then goes to his lessons. Like, did you become popular? Did people talk to you? Or did you just sit in the bar reading a book to look performative? Someone should make a video about that. Anyways, here's what he learned. When you stand for something, you instantly become interesting. Most people order alcohol because everyone else does. But I had a villain, peer pressure, and a belief. External substances are for people who can't generate their own joy. The water order wasn't just a drink choice, it was a brand position. My villain, social conformity. My message, real confidence doesn't need chemical courage. This is so pretentious, bro. Oh my gosh, dude. And like, I feel like this probably went completely opposite to how he thought. The room goes silent because you said some corny What are you talking about? And again, I'm not like encouraging you to fall for peer pressure. Like, if you don't want to drink, you don't have to. No one's making you. I'm not like promoting it. I'm just saying it's like these people wanted to go out and have a good time with you, and you're just like talking down on them. You're just like, well, actually, I don't drink because I'm high on life, implying that they aren't. Like, dude, get out of here, dude. Just say you don't drink. Just say that. But moving on to more work-related things, these people are the most single-track, work-minded people I've ever seen. And like, I feel like Gen Z tends to be the opposite. Like, yeah, I don't want to spend most of my life working for someone else's profit, rather than society as a whole. And I feel like Gen Z's general cynicism is pretty emblematic of that, at least for like those who agree with me. And that's not me saying I just want to be a parasite or don't want a job. No, I want to go into work, I want to do my work, and I want to clock out. I don't care about the extended corporate family, we're all in this together stuff, because it doesn't really benefit me or the world. And I think this is a pretty common sentiment among Gen Z. Like, dude, I'm here for a 9 to 5, and I get paid for 9 to 5. I don't want to do all this extra stuff and be part of this weird hustle grind set and waste my life away. But for some reason, older generations just can't understand this. I bet you thought this was going to be a shorter, like, cutaway just because of how fast the screen was zooming in, but, you know, the lion does not concern himself with matching the audio to the video. But again, when older generations already have their foot in the door, they tend to just drink the hustler grind set Kool-Aid because it works for them, and then just like, now their entire life is work-related and they can't think about anything else no matter what. I just proposed to my girlfriend this weekend. Here's what it taught me about B2B sales. Like, dude, this is one of the happiest moments of your life, and you still could not escape the clutches of capital. This is not a flex, dude. Ozzy Osbourne passed away. Here's 5 things Ozzy taught me about startups and life. Like, dude, LinkedIn influencers are like youth pastors. Like, anytime anything happens in pop culture, these dudes immediately find a way to relate it back to what they want to talk about. Like, oh, dude, Ozzy Osbourne died? You know what other popular figure died? Except instead of relating it back to Jesus, LinkedIn lunatics just like related back to work and sales, which I find super lame and embarrassing. Like, I don't know, man. Just these are unbelievable. Just touch grass, man. Oh, they did. Okay, sorry. For some reason, I'm normally pretty good at this, but I forgot to save the next posts that I'm talking about. So basically, it's a LinkedIn post of some dude who did like kind of a personal photo shoot at like a Sequoia National Park or something. And like, instead of just saying something normal in the caption, he had to turn it into one of those really self-indulgent, like inspirational posts. He's all like, I went to the park and I was so in awe of it. And I looked at one of the trees and I thought to myself, wow. Building things that last means being committed to slow growth. And I couldn't find the post, but I remember that word for word because that was beyond corny. And like, there's no way this was a genuine thought you had. There's no way you looked at a tree and was just like, huh, building things that last means being committed to slow growth. Like, if your inner monologue is corporate speak, you need to become unemployed. You need to hop on TikTok like the rest of us. Please, bro. Seriously, who are these posts for? Like, I get it's to look good to recruiters, but like, do recruiters and corporate people seriously look at this and be like, man, that's inspirational, dude. You know, building things that last means being committed to slow growth. Hell yeah, let's hire this guy. Does this actually speak to anybody? Or is this part of some weird, like, self-aware performance that everyone commits to because everyone else already is in the corporate world? Or do these people just genuinely like these things? I don't get it. And dude, maybe it's just me, but I cannot imagine anyone from Gen Z posting like this. I'm just saying, I don't know anybody in Gen Z who is like genuinely excited to just get in the hustle grind set in the corporate world. I mean, I know a few people, but I feel like it's just way less common than it was in older generations. And even then, there's like a general like lack of reverence for like work-related things. Like, yeah, I'm just here to get paid. I'm not here because I value like the company values and the mission, and I don't want to be called a family. I just want to do my work and leave this corporate hellscape so I can do it all over again. But if you get sick of the corporate hellscape, you can always go work at like, you know, Amazon, where you get 5-minute bathroom breaks, and if you mess up once, your consciousness gets uploaded to Palantir. Speaking of Palantir, dude, I really feel like I want to make a video on them, but then like encourage my audience to just make up like the most bizarre, ethical lies about me just so that like my data file is super confused on there. What do you mean this royal young guy from confidential location in America is a Mongolian toaster salesman? And why is he a great furry artist? Oh, no, one of those things is true. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Sorry. Stay tuned for that, though. What I was saying, though, is I feel like Gen Z doesn't really take this, like, corporate life thing super seriously, unlike some older generations on LinkedIn. But, like, some people here can't fathom that idea, that some people don't want their entire life to revolve around work. Yusuf may have won at the Olympics, but if he showed up like this in the corporate world, his resume won't get shortlisted. He won't get the right projects. He won't be put in front of customers. He won't get promoted beyond a point, because corporate success is more about perception than performance. And anyways, who is this rando judging an Olympic silver medalist? He's like, wow, look at this loser who won silver while wearing casual clothes. And is also one of the most successful people in his field. I bet he wouldn't succeed in my field, though. Like, how are you so threatened by someone else's success that you have to make a rant post about him on LinkedIn? Like, yeah, buddy, show up like that in the corporate world. He probably doesn't have to. And if he did, he probably is getting whatever he wants. He has a weapon. But honestly, I don't even know how well these LinkedIn influencers show up to, like, other people in the corporate world, too. It's like, I feel like you can see this through the ridiculous titles and self-descriptions they put. Like, they try so hard to sound more qualified than they actually are. Like, okay, I put a couple dollars into Chopped Chin coin back in January, and then lost those couple dollars. But according to LinkedIn, that makes me a crypto coin enthusiast, and I can now apply for tech jobs. If one of these dudes gave like a valedictorian speech in high school, they're a soon-to-be TEDx motivational speaker. Or you probably heard the joke before. Oh, you were a dishwasher at McDonald's? No, you're an underwater ceramic technician. It's just this bizarre self-absorbed doublespeak. That's even worse than the average Twitter user's bio. But despite how fake this comes off to everyone else in the world, dude, these people will judge you so hard if you don't live up to these weird standards. I had multiple clear-cut career accomplishments in 2024. My husband? 0. No certifications, no college courses completed, no documentary features, no awards. And how do you do that? I asked from across the dining table. How are you able to go through a whole year without doing any of these sort of things and be okay? He didn't have a response. There's so much to unpack and learn from an exchange like this, like why I'm getting divorced tomorrow. Specifically, what's standing in the way of my ability to be content without conventional markers of accomplishment? And the answer is ego, by the way. This is just an unbelievable post. It's such a humble brag, too. It's like, why am I so driven? Why am I so accomplished? Why can't I be happy with anything else intrinsically? I wouldn't know. I'm way too accomplished, man. I got featured in a documentary, I guess. I mean, who knows if anyone watched it, but... I completed some college courses. Yeah, I have too, buddy. She admitted later her husband does have a good career. He's making good money. He just isn't obsessed with these weird, markers of accomplishment. Like, dude, God forbid a guy is content with his place in the world. I feel like that's such an older generation mindset. I feel like I don't see this as much with Gen Z. It's like, I couldn't imagine anyone my age posting some bullshit like this, but who knows? Give it 30 years. And again, that's not me painting these generations with a broad brush. I know plenty of Gen Xers and Boomers who are not this self-absorbed. I just think it's worth pointing out, because dude, how does it get to this point? I feel like the average Gen Z person statistically is just trying to get a career, though, in the first place. They're not worried about these stupid qualifications, but they're just trying to get a job for what they, worked for. Okay, I got my degree, and everyone who's hiring needs experience, and I can't get experience because no one's hiring. Oh wait, but what if you need the money now to, well, screw you. You can put your degree to work doing something that you already did before, but weren't in debt for. Like fast food or retail. If you could even get hired doing that, again, good luck. You'll apply to 100 and they'll still not be hiring. Or they'll say they're hiring just to make HR look good, but then they just won't reply to your application. And then if one of them finally does go somewhere, then you're actually employed. Then you're stuck in a McDonald's being ran like the Navy, while still being in debt from college and not being able to use the degree you just spent 4 years working for. And then if you don't have a degree, you're stuck with all of this except with a paying job with very little upward mobility to actually make a stable life for yourself. There is trade school though, but that also takes years and that's getting more saturated. And again, pursuing any of these things while you're already struggling is still extremely difficult. This bullshit is already frustrating enough for me who had to go through it. And again, I'm relatively privileged. I'm lucky to have a stable family and stable help sources. But if you don't, then you have to go through all of this BS, except now your actual livelihood is on the line rather than just the quality of your life and independence. Oh, nice, I applied to 100 jobs, and one of them finally applied to my application a month later. So it only took a month of living on ice soup, thoughts, and prayers. Maybe if they hire me, I can finally afford ice stew, and they said that they are no longer hiring. Oh boy. And the reason I bring up the Gen Z hiring experience is just to contrast it with the world that LinkedIn influencers think we live in, or at least that they lived in back when they were younger. While Gen Z statistically is fighting to actually get jobs, much less a decent one, these dudes get to spend all their time sucking up to people above them on the corporate ladder and then punching down at people below them on the socioeconomic ladder. They don't always say it, but they really have this ingrained belief that the world is a perfect meritocracy where hard work always gets rewarded proportionally. And that if you're struggling in some way, it's somehow your fault for not working hard enough. And your failure is somehow disconnected from the entirety of the social totality, and it's all your fault. And their success is also entirely disconnected from the social totality, and it's entirely their merit. And that's not me being cynical or whatever. I think you should work as hard as possible to make the best life you can. with what the world has given you, provided you keep your morals intact. My point is that, like, the material world and the circumstances you're born under are one of the biggest predictors in what your life ends up like. You can break that, up or down, and many people do, but I'm saying you can't just get online and post about, like, the habits of poor people that keep them poor, because, like, you're not from that circumstance. You don't know what they went through, and they're probably working harder than you. If you're some random HR middle manager, or, like, one of those, like, tech higher-ups that sit at a desk and send emails all day, you're not working harder than the guy who made your shirt. Like, sorry, if you're successful, capitalism has decided that you are necessary for its reproduction in whatever role you've been given access to, and you're lucky that the one that it picked is one that pays you a lot. But if you're unsuccessful, you're also necessary for capitalist reproduction, but it chose you to be a foot soldier instead who spends your life slaving away making commodities for other people. And in this role, you'll definitely be working harder than the previous group, but the previous group will pretend that all their success was their hard work entirely, and they'll pretend that, like, none of this is even a problem. The world is just. But again, like that one guy earlier, some people will admit that the world isn't just some perfect meritocracy, but oh, in that case, you should have just worked, like, smarter instead of harder or something. It's just an unwinnable battle with these people. And obviously, I should say, real quick, success is a spectrum. Should probably clarify that. It's not just a bunch of rich dudes and then people at the bottom. There's a spectrum there, you know? And that kind of leads me to my next point. So earlier I mentioned that I want to talk about how stupid this stuff is on a global scale. Like, I've spent most of my time talking about, like, the American Gen Z experience with this. Because knowing my demographics, that's probably what you and I will find most relatable. Or at least know someone in that situation. But I think when you look at this hard work overall mindset from, like, a global perspective, it becomes 100 times more stupid than just looking at America. Like, I seriously want to watch one of these hustle grind set guys go explain to the Bangladeshi worker who made their shirt, or the Chinese Foxconn worker who made their phone, or the Congolese child cobalt miner, that those people are all poor because they didn't work hard enough, and that person is all rich because they worked hard or something. Like, I seriously want to see them try to justify this belief in the real world and not just be laughed out at best. Oh wait, they actually do this. They actually drink their own Kool-Aid.
Wealth, this is according to Oxfam, of the world's 85 richest people is equal to the 3.5 billion poorest people.
It's fantastic. And this is a great thing because it inspires everybody, gets the motivation to look up to the 1% and say, I want to become one of those people. I'm going to fight hard to get up to the top. This is fantastic news, and of course I applaud it. What can be wrong with this?
Really?
Yes, really.
So somebody living on
I celebrate capitalism.
$1 a day in Africa is getting up in the morning and saying, I'm going to be Bill Gates.
That's the motivation everybody needs.
Only thing between me and
I'm
that
not
guy
against
is
charity.
motivation. I just need to pull up my socks. I don't have socks.
Look, don't tell me that you want to redistribute wealth again. That's never going to happen. Okay?
You know what? You take a simple stat like this, which is neither good nor bad. It's just a fact.
It's a celebratory stat. I'm very excited about it. I'm wonderful to see it happen.
Like, seriously, go show a sweatshop worker your posts about the habits of poor people that keep them poor. Like, I really want to see what happens. And, like, not to give these dudes any credit, but, like, if you're, like, the upper class in your country, or you're, like, doing decently well in the first world, it's like, yes, this worldview kind of makes sense. Like, you live in one of the wealthiest countries on earth, on the top of the capitalist food chain. Even if you're dirt poor, there is a possibility of upward mobility, even if it is kind of slim. Like, we do have relative privilege. But again, what about the people not from here? It's already insensitive to say this stuff to Americans, but when you talk like this to the rest of the world, it's just so much worse.
It's a celebratory stat. I'm very excited about it. I'm wonderful to see it happen.
And it's funny that people think this, because, like, even if you are successful, that's not just entirely your own hard work. Like, say you work in a tech job. Okay, the suit you wear to that job was made by exploited labor in Bangladesh. The phone you use and the computer you use to make money are assembled by sweatshop laborers in China with cobalt mined from the Congo, often by forced labor or children. So it's like, yeah, again, I'm not hating on anyone getting their bag, but my point is, like, be honest where it's coming from. Like, you didn't just make the success out of thin air disconnected from the rest of the world. And what's even funnier is that a lot of these people just work the most bullshit jobs you've ever heard. Like, basically everyone in this video is working at some sort of AI startup, because the world needs more of those, right? So yeah, let's talk about what goes into that. And the only reason the AI tools you glorify work is because literally people have to sit there in Kenya. There are dudes in Kenya who get paid $2 an hour to look at the most traumatizing images imaginable and label them so the AI knows not to use them for image or text generation. Like, they have to just traumatize themselves for $2 an hour just so you can hop on LinkedIn and start worshiping these AI things, or, like, talking about how hard you work to make this AI startup. It's so endlessly insensitive when I see people talking about, like, their hard work, their hard work, their hard work. Shut up, dude. Again, damage control. Not saying programming isn't hard work. I'm saying that you are disproportionately rewarded for it compared to the dudes in Kenya. So be honest about it. Sure, again, there's hard work here. These people are doing it. I will admit that. but at least be honest about reality. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm taking a very disparaging tone in this video. Like, I'm not just hating on these people indiscriminately. I'm not gonna hate on anyone getting the bag. Make a life for yourself, as long as you keep your morals intact, which might be kind of hard in the corporate world. But my point is that I just wish people wouldn't let their, like, ego take control and start talking down on everybody else when they succeed. Because again, it wasn't just you.
85 richest people is equal to the 3.5 billion poorest people.
It's fantastic.
And more so, I really wish these people didn't adopt the most, like, horrible and insensitive political lines based on their experience at the expense of others. Like, really, I just wish people had more empathy, okay? But overall, my point is this. LinkedIn influencers are the absolute encapsulation of the insanity of the corporate world and how, like, out of touch they are with Gen Z and anyone else in the world. It's basically a bunch of dudes who spend their entire life pursuing wealth and then judge others who don't want to do the same or fail to do the same because they didn't have the same circumstances. And to make it worse, it tends to foster bootlicking mentalities while also being an app full of egomaniacs. I don't know how both these things are true at once, but it is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video of me nuking my job prospects. I might honestly make a video where I try to become like a parody of one of these guys and try to actually get a job with it. You know, like really embellish my qualifications. Like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. No, I'm a freelance journalist, a cultural critic, and a professional editor. Okay, that last one's a stretch. So yeah, stay tuned for that and subscribe. Later.